Alright, this is video number 2, and that is a very brief introduction to VCarve and what it is and the logic behind it. So, I'm just going to open it up here. This is VCarve Pro. There's a couple of different versions. Just cut 2D, and then there's Aspire. But for what we do, VCarve Pro is fine. And I believe this is to buy, it's about €650, give or take. Which, in the grand scheme of things, like, it's extremely good value. There's an awful lot of industrial packages out there, and they're 5 figures all day long. So VCarve, what it's fully or kind of really intended to be used for is kind of guys who are into I want to say hobby CNC machining. Some people have little desktop CNC routers, and VCarve is actually very good at doing like 3D models. It can do very complex shapes and stuff like that. But it also has a function for nesting. You know, we can put in 8x4 sheets, 10x4 sheets, whatever, and we can draw all the stuff, all the parts we need, put them on the sheets, and put programs on them. So it's quite good. As I previously mentioned, it's very, very user friendly. It's so easy to pick up from scratch, you know. And it's what I always say to people, like, if you can imagine how you want something to be cut out, like, all you need to know is how to be able to draw it. You know, bring that what's in your imagination onto a physical drawing here within VCarve, and then you just need an understanding of how toolpaths work, and you can cut out pretty much any shape you want. Okay, so I'll quickly get into it. So I'll just go File, New. I'll talk about job setup in the next video. But so here it is. When you open it up, this here is a sheet size that's set to 8x4. It's mostly what we use. Our CNC bed is 8x4. But if it's different, or you want to use a different type sheet or whatever, you can change it quite easily. So this type of CNC programming is called 2.5D machining, right? And where it gets that name from is basically, so we use 2D drawings to do 3D machining, right? So everything we're going to draw is going to be on like one plane, we'll say, right? It's all 2D. So you'll have squares and circles for drillings and whatever else. And that becomes 3D then when we use our toolpaths. And the toolpaths have different settings of like depth, etc., which then allows you to, you know, take your 2D drawing, stick on a certain type of a toolpath, and, you know, if you want to cut something out, you tell it to go 18 mil deep. If you want to pocket out, you know, you'll tell it to go, let's say, for example, 6 mil deep. So yeah, that's where 2.5D comes from. 2D drawings to do 3D machining. Okay, so a little brief overview of the screen and what's on it and the various tabs. So on the left hand side you have drawing, and everything that you could possibly want to do for drawing is down below, right? And then if I just go toolpaths and show toolpath tab, now on the right hand side we have our toolpaths tab, and that has everything that you'll possibly need, from applying programs, loading in templates, saving it out to your machine. Yeah, so basically when you're doing the job, you're going to start on the drawing side, and you will nest it on the drawing side, and then once it's nested and on its sheets, you then come over to the toolpath side, and you'll either make your own one, make a couple of profiles or pockets or whatever, and you can then save it out to your machine. So yeah, that's a pretty, like, a very general overview of what's in here. Now, on first look, there's an awful lot of icons, but you don't generally use them all. There's only a handful of all these icons you use most of the time, and then the odd time you might use one or the other. So, like, honestly, I'd say if you use 15% or 20% of what's there on a regular basis, that would be quite normal. It's like most software packages. They just have all the extra little bits in there for any kind of specialist operations that you'll be doing. And one very, very, very useful document is the help file. And the help file can be found by clicking on the question mark up here. And then you will find a very, very long list of pages that literally explain every button. So here we have move selected objects. If I go back onto the web page, I'm now in move. It kind of explains all the different things inside the move capability and how to edit them, you know. Just give another quick example of one. Mirror, you know, if you want to mirror an object, this is what you see when you press mirror within VCarve. So I'll just go in there now. Where's mirror? Here it is. You got all this here, and in the help page, it will actually explain to you everything that is in there. So if you want to learn about something in there, or if you're trying to draw something and you'd like to try out something, you're not too sure how to use it or what it does, you can come in here and have a look. And a lot of these functions and whatever between drawing and toolpaths have a lot of shortcuts. I don't use too many of them myself, but they are quite good. Like, I definitely use M for move. It just makes life a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. Okay, I think that's a good enough general overview as to what's going on. So I'll move on to the next video now, which is Introduction to Drawing.